Well, I'm gonna have Miss Betty come up here first. I'm gonna have Miss Betty come up here first. Miss Betty, how are you doing today?
Good, good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you get an opportunity to hear the audio?
No, I didn't get the opportunity to hear the audio, but I'm all right. Listen, she's a predator, and she don't care about. I think I heard something about her saying like she wouldn't regret what what she did, but she feels bad for using her body as leisure. Like, no, you feel bad that you are the industry 304, and these men won't touch you with a 10-foot pole and you losing your funds. Like you really like she annoys me because like you really preyed on that little 18-year-old boy and,
Right,
and got yourself pregnant, trapped him, and
right,
then made all this money off of him, got him on like she literally had him. He was a good guy, literally had him marry her, and then like 2 months after she gave birth she divorced him and then took his money, got him for spouse support and child support. Like now she over here living the good life, going on interviews. She probably got her getting her hair and makeup done, all this kind of stuff off of his dime. And now that people have caught on to how treacherous she is, she want to come over here and talk about how she feel bad and she wish she didn't use her body for blah blah blah. But in the same sentence, gonna have the audacity to say she wouldn't change what she did.
here. Go ahead, mute. I want to play the audio for you before I ask you these statements. Because I want to make sure we all on the same page. I'll just mute up. I want to play it for you. And even to my 20-year-old self, I hate how I allowed myself to just be like used up by men. And that came from a lack of self worth. I did not understand my value that I was born with. I didn't. And I gave, again, people look at sex differently, but sex is spiritual unification. At the end of the day, I don't care how you spin it. It's spiritual.
For women.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
for
women.
whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. For women, it's spiritual unification. And people that I shared my body with, when I think about my list, it's repulsive because they didn't deserve it. But that was an outcome of me discounting my worth. And it's disgusting. I hate even having that spiritual tie in any type of way. But yeah, I would absolutely change sexually how I move around. And not even necessarily because of like the societal outcome. It's more so from my self worth.
Like, how it makes you like feel.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good knowing that you gave a sacred part of you to a man that looked at sex with you as taking a piss. It's not fulfilling. It's disgusting to think about. And I feel like I've beat myself up every single day for my decisions. And what people say about me online holds no candle to what I've told myself on a daily basis. Like I've been called worse by better, and that better being me. Like I have talked down to myself, and I felt like I was unworthy for a very long time. And I would say this is more of a recent awareness, like in the past year, where I'm like, Brittany, you were always enough. Like you never had to seek validation outside of you. You never had to look that far. And that's what I would tell myself. I would and try to tell women, you should really think about who you're laying down with. Like, and that is a more traditional view, but it's like sex is not even worth it if they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They have no desire to. They don't want to know your favorite color. They don't give a shit. So why do you want them over top of you? Again, that's come from feeling used up, and sometimes that's why the used goods comments they sting because you know what? And even to my 20-year-old self, I hate how I. Okay, Miss Betty, let me let's. I got four. I have four true or false statements prepared here, and we're gonna start off with you. Okay, so let me read the first one to you. Women are more than aware of how valuable they are and the value they're born with. True or false?
False. You can't hear me?
I can hear you. Elaborate on why you think it's false.
Um, I don't think that we realize how amazing that we are. And I think it just has a lot to do with insecurity and how society looks at us. Um and I don't think that purity culture really helps it either, because purity almost makes you feel like you're dirty to even want to engage in any sexual activity. But at the same time, um, you got the other spectrum of sexual liberation, which can also, depending on how you use it, make you feel the same way that purity culture can make you feel. Um, I think the only thing that I kind of like about sexual liberation is that you stand by who you decide to give yourself to with 10 toes down. And, you have that consent, you have that choice that you made. So I don't know. I don't think that we really understand how powerful we are with our bodies, but I don't think that the way that society is educating us on how powerful we are with our bodies is helping either.
All right. Um, I disagree with you, but we'll move on. Um, so second statement is women control access to sex. So whether a man, quote unquote, deserved to sleep with them or not, they wanted to sleep with him. So saying he didn't deserve it is BS. True or false?
No, he a lot of people didn't deserve your body, but she gave it to him. That doesn't mean that he deserved it. That just means that she was not she was very lackadaisical of who she decided to give her body to. He couldn't have tried at all. And yeah, I just don't agree with that. There's a lot of people that didn't deserve it, that
So
just
your
landed
answer,
into it. They
so
got
your answer
lucky.
is
Should be
false.
the yes, they got lucky. Should be the better answer to that.
But as women, y'all are the ones who make it even possible for a man to have an opportunity to have sex. So again, like I said, whether because that's what she said in the video. She said, "I realized that I gave myself to men that didn't deserve my body, but at the end of the day, you're the one that not only did you give them your body, but you were the one that was responsible and even made it possible for him to have access to your body. So whether he did deserve it or not, you wanted to sleep with him. That's why you gave
Yeah,
him access
but
to your body.
yeah, and she should take accountability for that. And there's a lot of women who do take accountability. And the main fact that you were even acknowledging that you gave your body to people that did not deserve it, to me, is taking accountability for it. Um, I guess the next step with that is to try next time to make sure that you give it to somebody who's worth having you. Um, but yeah, that doesn't mean that he deserved it. That just means that he fell into it because you made poor decisions. You made poor judgments on who you decided to sleep with.
Okay. So the third statement is a lot of women love having casual sex and participating in hookup culture. True or false?
Yes, true, true. Because I guess we're all human beings. We're all adults, and it's about consent. It's about it's about having fun. If you're horny, more than likely you're going to sleep with somebody. And not only that, but at the same time, if you date somebody, this is the whole thing about body count. Like if I date somebody and I've been with him for 6 months, that's one guy. The next guy I've been with for 8 months to a year, that's two guys. Like imagine that, like with 10 people, you probably had about 8 people in the 10 years that you've been sexually active. And those could have all been people that you were in relationships with. Even if you're in a relationship with a guy for 2 years, like that's still a body. So I'm just like, I don't really know about that whole body count thing. But yeah, I think that people do like to sleep with other people because they're adults, and adults are horny and they're going to do what they're going to do.
All right. So the fourth and last one is a woman taking accountability for her past actions and trying to portray herself as a reformed hoe is not going to make her be seen in a better light in the eyes of most men, and damn sure not a wife. True or false?
It depends on your age because I kind of feel like if you're in your 40s, like I don't think that men around that age range is really gonna care about that. I think they will care, depending on how many visual baggage that you have, and I don't want to call them baggages, so I think that's rude, but let me change it. Let's say you got four kids by three different baby fathers, but you're like 40 and those kids are older. I don't think that he's going to look at you as much of as a reformed 304, and let that somebody who's like in their late 20s with four kids with three different baby fathers. Now, they might look at her a little bit differently, especially if the kids are younger. Um, I do think that Reform 304s can get married and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's going to be harder for them than somebody who's like um, not, I wouldn't say not been with a lot of people because you really don't know how many people that they've been with, but they don't have any kids, and the town doesn't know that she was a community bicycle. She would be more than likely to have to catch a mate than somebody who has a bunch of kids and but and has not, married any of the fathers that she's been with.
So you're telling me that if a 40-year-old man that was single and looking for a relationship with a woman, um, even if he knew, not it's not a matter of him not knowing, if he knew very well that this woman was, as you say, the community bicycle, if he knew this woman had a very promiscuous past, and let's just say that she was in his age range. Let's say she was between the ages of, I don't know, 37, 38, and 40. You're
No,
telling me that he's
no,
just
he wouldn't.
you're telling me that he's just going to accept that she used to be a community bicycle and that she's had a very promiscuous past, and like chalk it up to, like, I understand, like, it's just the past, it doesn't really.
No, I was going off the point that if he didn't know, um, but so if he knew, no, I don't think that he would want to date her. Um, yeah, I don't think so. I was thinking like if they're like mid 40s, kids are grown, and he's like in his 50s. Like a lot of older people don't care about that stuff. A lot of the body count issue and stuff like that has to do with younger people, especially because a lot of older people, their past really is irrelevant because the kids that are from their past, they really like they're old, they're grown, they're like 18, 19, they didn't really have to worry about it. But when you're younger, like let's say in your 30s, 20s, or mid 30s, and you're dating somebody with multiple kids or kids at all, those kids are young. So now you got to play stepfather as to somebody who's in their mid 40s, 50s. Their past really doesn't matter because those kids are grown, so they don't have to take on the responsibility of playing stepdad.
Okay. But so,
What was
so
the
so
question about
ultimately,
accountability?
what's your answer to the statement? Is it true or
Yeah,
false?
because I was like, what was the original question about
So
accountability?
a woman taking accountability for her past actions and trying to portray herself as a reformed hoe is not going to make her be seen in a better light in the eyes of most men, and damn sure not a wife. True or false?
Um, True, there it's not. And look at Brittany Renner, and that's exactly what I said in the beginning. Like a lot of these, even though she's saying she reformed herself, a lot of these people in the industry knows how predatory she was, and they not touching her with a 10-foot pole. She definitely, a lot of them are saying, "Oh, stay away from her." Like, look what she did to that young boy. Like at that, and people are like, "What about the accountability of the boy? What accountability do you want him to do?" Like he was 18 years old, she got pregnant, and he married the girl. She she trapped him and took him for all that she had. And now the industry, that entertainment industries knows exactly what she did and knows exactly what type of time she's on. And now she regretting it because she can't go and trap somebody else.
Right. And she also wrote a book, you know, talking about her sexcapades and just, situationships or relationships that she's had with different profile men. So like when you do stuff like that, you're like damn near automatically disqualified now. So yeah. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Miss Betty. Thank you for coming up here. I'm gonna
Thank
bring someone else
you.
up here, right? You have a happy holidays to you. You have a good Christmas.
You do. You too.